What is up, guys? In this video today, what I'm going to be doing is breaking down episode 4 of the Netflix documentary The Playbook, which looks at different coaches from different sports, their successes as well as their failures, and everything they've done towards creating the career that they have as a coach. And so in this episode, it's going to be on an amazing coach in the world of tennis. We're going to be looking at a 4-time Coach of the Year winner, currently coaching 40 players who are ranked in the top 100 in the sport of tennis, and that is Patrick Mouratoglou. So for all my Serena Williams fans out there, all my fans of just tennis overall, stay tuned for this episode as we look at the coaching career, coaching success and failures of the amazing resume that is Patrick Mouratoglou. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what is up, guys? My name is Philip and I'm a sports psychology consultant, and welcome to Psycho Pass Shoot Score, your channel for anything sports, sports psychology and anime related. And so episode 4 was really interesting. It was actually really great, looking into the world of tennis, a new sport which the documentary hadn't gone into before. So it was really great to just learn a bit about it, learn a bit about the coaching career of Patrick himself, and just seeing everything that happened within his childhood and how that's really had a big impact on who he is as a coach right now. And so that leads me to my first takeaway point of this Netflix episode, and it was really about him as a person and how things which happened in his childhood really impacted the coach that he is right now. And so although right now he is an amazing coach, it didn't really start off like that, and you can really see that through lots of different examples and lots of things that he was talking about within his childhood. And so he was saying that within his childhood he was really shy, he was really low in confidence, to the point where his parents felt that he should go and see a psychologist. And so he saw a psychologist once a week for a whole year, and he said that in every single session that he had, he didn't talk to the psychologist not once. He didn't say a single word. And that is just crazy to think that he was so low in self-confidence and so shy that he wouldn't say anything. And so for me, being a sports psychology consultant myself, I could not imagine working with an athlete for a whole year, seeing them once a week, really wanting to kind of help them, but them saying absolutely nothing. That would be crazy. So it really just paints a picture as to how low in self-confidence he really was as a child. But then that really did help him, maybe not in the present when he was a child, but it really did help him within the future with different characteristics that he developed, which now has really helped him as a coach, which I'll get into in a little bit. And so sticking with the whole aspect of his childhood and young adult life, he was really talking a lot about the impact that his parents had within his kind of career within tennis. And so at first he was a player, and he was a really well respected player actually. He was ranked really high within his region, within his age group. So he had a lot of potential to be a great tennis player. But then his parents really forced him not to kind of pursue a tennis career. And so as he kind of progressed in his teenage years into his young adult years, he then started working for his father, and it got to a point where his dad wanted to kind of partner with him in the company. And seeing his second opportunity within the world of sports, he said no to that opportunity and then pursued a coaching career. And from his resume and from things that he's already done, you can tell he made a great decision. And so looking more at his coaching career presently, that leads me to my second takeaway point from this Netflix documentary episode, and that was the rules, the coaching rules that he lives by, the coaching philosophy that he's created over many years, and that's given him the success that he has. And so he had 6 different rules, and these rules were: number 1, your greatest weakness can become your greatest strength. Number 2, never be afraid to get fired. Number 3, mistakes are inevitable, but don't let them define you. Number 4, emotions are the worst advisors. Number 5, let them know they're not alone. And number 6, a good lie can become the truth. And so within this documentary episode, he gave some great, funny, interesting examples, not just from one player that he coaches, but from multiple different players, but from multiple different coaching stages that he was at throughout his career. And so it was really great to kind of just hear those and just see how his coaching rules are just painted throughout his entire coaching career. And so looking at the first one, your weaknesses can become your greatest strength, you can really see that when he was talking about within his childhood being really low in self-confidence and being really shy, and it looks like maybe the psychologist didn't help him at the time, but you can really see that although that was a real negative and a real weakness at the time, he wasn't able to make a lot of friends, that really did help develop a really key quality and a really key characteristic which has now really helped him as a coach. And so although he wasn't able to kind of communicate with people in his childhood, what he was able to do through that is really develop a great deep understanding about body language. And so he was able to see whether people are happy or sad or angry, not through talking to them, but through looking at their body language and observing their body language and how they look and how they react to different things. And so that understanding of the body language was really important now as a coach, because within his sport, he's not able to talk to his players whilst they're competing. And so by him understanding different body languages, he can use that information within the next sessions when he's giving advice at the end of the game and stuff like that, and really use that understanding that he has of body language, creating different exercises to help people at a rapid pace. And he gave some great examples of that happening, which I'll get into in a bit. But even in another rule that he was talking about, the number 2 one, not being afraid to get fired, I'm really surprised that he's the only coach throughout this documentary so far. He's really the only one that's actually spoken about this. And it's really surprising because a lot of the other coaches in sports of basketball or football, those are sports and they're at a level where people get fired routinely. Like, it's not a big deal if you hear a coach saying that he got fired at the end of the season or even midway through the season. So the fire rate within these sports are really high, but then he's the only one who's actually spoken about it and spoken about his whole process around that whole fear of being fired. And he says that he doesn't have that, and he gave a great example of when working with Serena Williams to start off with, and really demanded her respect and spoke to her in a way that not a lot of people would, and that actually positively helped him with developing that relationship. And so it was really great hearing about his mindset behind being fired and that fear of being fired and how he doesn't have that fear. But that leads me to my third takeaway point from this episode, and it was really about the psychology side of the sport of tennis in general. And so from all the examples that he was given about different players, different situations that he's experienced, it really feels that the sport of tennis, a psychological skill which is really important for the sporting success that different athletes and even coaches have, is self-confidence. A lot of the examples that he gave, it really showed that athletes who are high in self-confidence, they did a great job in handling adversity, on dominating the opposition. And those people who were low in self-confidence, it really had a negative impact on their performance, and it caused them to kind of give up halfway through the match. And so he gave some examples around people with high self-confidence as well as people with low self-confidence. And so he gave a great, funny, interesting example with Serena Williams, working with her. And so it kind of relates to that last rule that he had about sometimes a lie can become a good truth. And so Serena Williams wasn't performing really well in one aspect of her performance, of her game. She's normally aggressive going closer than there, but in this tournament she wasn't doing really well, and you can really see that her confidence was really low, and probably it really helped that he could understand body language. So he saw that really quickly and was able to kind of capitalize on helping develop her confidence in that situation. And so what he said that he did is that he kind of lied about the stats. The stats showed that she was doing really poorly close to the net. But then he kind of told a little lie and told her that, no, the stats actually show that she's doing really well. And even she was a bit surprised, but because it came from her coach, it really kind of helped her develop her confidence going towards the net. And so that really helped foster a belief in Serena within that aspect of her game. And that really helped her in the next couple of matches. And it actually went on to her winning that tournament. I mean, no surprise there, Serena Williams winning the tournament. But it really showed that the coach really understood that whole psychology side of the sport, the psychology side of Serena Williams, and really understood that in order for Serena Williams to play at her peak maximum in this tournament, she needs to be high in confidence in every single area of her performance. And so that was really great, really interesting to kind of see the little things that he did towards helping Serena Williams develop her confidence and win that tournament. And so understanding his kind of coaching philosophy, his coaching side, and his coaching style and how that developed from a childhood was just really great to kind of see in a new sport, in this documentary, in the sport of tennis. So that was great, because in a few previous episodes, they haven't really talked a lot about the coach's childhood and how situations in their childhood had really developed qualities within their coaching style. So especially within the Jose Mourinho episode, which I've done a breakdown on, which you should definitely go check that out. They didn't really talk a lot about his childhood, but what they did talk about is some funny, hilarious, really interesting situations and experiences that he's gone through as a coach, which has helped him deliver multiple trophies. So definitely go check that out. Go check out some other episodes that I've also done a breakdown on. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more sports psychology and anime content just like this. Hit that like button if you did enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.